And good afternoon, everybody. Welcome as we continue on Daytona Race Weekend here from Daytona International Speedway for Season 3 of the NNSCRA Hersheys Cup Series. We are continuing to get one step closer to the third annual running of the Great American Race Daytona 500. Today we will be running the Can-Am Duels, Duel number 1, Duel number 2, both pretty much put together as far as the fields based off of pole day qualifying and the non-charter knockout qualifying sessions that took place in the past couple of days. We're getting ready here for Can-Am Duel number 1. Now the drivers that are in this first Can-Am Duel are drivers that qualified in the odd positions, 1st, 3rd, 5th on through back to 35th in pole day qualifying, as well as the 3 drivers that transferred into the Daytona 500 from the non-charter knockout qualifying session number 1. Those 3 would include John Andrews, O'Neal Baldwin, and Chris Dollerton. They will start at the rear of the field. You see, on the pole position is Cole Baker. Regardless of what happens in today's race, he will remain on the pole for the Daytona 500. Everybody else, though, is trying to advance their position in the starting grid for the Great American Race. Let's go down trackside, get the command to fire him up here for Can-Am Duel number 1.
Driver, start your engines!
And there is the command to fire him up, so we will have these cars rolling off, 21 in total. We will have the other 21 drivers in Can-Am Duel number 2. Now, I said that these drivers are trying to advance their position in the starting grid. However, the highest they can advance their starting position is to 3rd in the Great American Race starting lineup, because the pole position already is held by Cole Baker. The outside of the front row is currently already held by James Richardson, who will start on the pole position for the second Can-Am Duel. So these drivers are all basically trying to qualify their way into the best possible odd number starting positions. So in this race, say Cole Baker doesn't win the race, the winner of the race will start 3rd, 2nd place will start 5th, 3rd place will start 7th, 4th place will start in 9th, and on back through, I believe it would be 41st position for the starting lineup. This is also an opportunity for drivers like John Andrews, O'Neal Baldwin, and Chris Dollerton, who had to race their way in, an opportunity for them to get themselves a much better starting position than they would if we didn't have these Can-Am Duels. If we didn't have these Can-Am Duels, they would be starting back from 36th through 38th in the starting grid. They have a golden opportunity here today to be able to advance their position. And for Cole Baker, he's got no pressure. He could go out here and try and win this race, have himself a Can-Am Duel victory, he'd still be on the pole. And then 2nd place would start 3rd in the Great American Race. So be a lot of interesting things to see what will happen here today in this race. Keep in mind, too, if we have any drivers get involved in wrecks, they'll be going to backup cars and would basically forfeit a good starting spot in the Daytona 500. So we'll have to see how hard they race here for this 10-lap dash. Pace car comes off of turn number 4. He'll make the left-hand turn to pit road. Cole Baker, who was the fastest in pole day qualifying. Rookie Matt Haas, who was 3rd fastest. They're the front row. They'll lead the 21-car field down. And Can-Am Duel number 1 at Daytona is green. Top 3 all seem to break away there, especially through 1 and 2. Now they're starting to get reeled in. Here comes Levi McIntyre, Kyle Matthews, Michael Norman, and a battle for the lead. Zach Flickinger will go to the inside line on Cole Baker, and he will take the lead heading through turn 3 out of turn 4. So a very quick lead exchange, and now Zach Flickinger will try and defend the top position as they were almost 4 wide back there. Brandon Gonzalez, Joshua Michaels almost rubbing doors. That was right at the tail end of the field. As back up here at the front, Levi McIntyre moves into the 2nd position. Cole Baker under fire again. Nobody giving any love to the Daytona 500 pole sitter. He gets stuck in the high side, 3 wide. Michael Norman on the bottom, Kyle Matthews in the middle. Norman's got the drafting help from John Arndt, so move the 3 to position number 3. Heading down the back straightaway as the top 2 have broken away, at least for the moment. You got Carson Scott back here looking 3 wide with John Arndt and Matt Haas. And he's bringing John Andrews along with him Andrews rolled off from the 19th position in this Can-Am duel, and he's already now up to 7th. And now Baker going to go to work there on Michael Norman for the 3rd position, trying to fight his way back up to the front as Zach Flickinger shows the way. Levi McIntyre in 2nd, and he may have a challenge to the inside courtesy of Cole Baker, and yes indeed he will. Baker with help from Carson Scott and John Andrews. He's got a big head of steam coming through turns 1 and 2. He may try and take the lead again here on the back straightaway. Steps out of line. Who goes with him? Fellow Ford John Andrews goes to the bottom to help with the drafting. And Cole Baker pulls alongside, side by side for the lead, heading into 3. Flickinger with Carson Scott on the outside. Cole Baker with John Andrews on the inside. The draft is tighter down low. Baker back to the point, courtesy of the non-chartered car of John Andrews. And now Andrews wants to get up here to the lead. He's got now help, courtesy of Levi McIntyre on that inside line. Can Andrews get to the left rear of Cole Baker? Indeed he will. He will try and go to the lead here through turns 1 and 2. Little more than 3 laps, and John Andrews has moved from 19th up to the lead, and he is showing the way here in the first Can-Am duel at Daytona. And look at Cole Baker with the crossover. And they're going to go 3 wide back there for about the 5th position. Matt Haas, Levi McIntyre, and they settle it back out to double wide formation. And now Cole Baker has no friends in the inside line. Well, as soon as I say that, Carson Scott switches lanes low. Matt Haas switches lanes to the high side. And they're still going to be side by side coming to the line. About a full car length the advantage at the line for John Andrews. And now the outside line kicks in. Andrews will clear. Zach Flickinger helping push him to the front. Cole Baker there in 2nd. He's got a teammate right behind him with a car separation. That's Anthony McCrory, our Sprint Unlimited winner, working his way up towards the front. You got Joshua Michaels there in the Honda. Dallas McIntosh in the Ford. And look at this. Carson Scott, Cole Baker, beautifully timing that move on the back straightaway to get by John Andrews. Move Cole Baker back to the lead. And Carson Scott moves into the 2nd position now. But here comes Joshua Michaels in the Honda. Dallas McIntosh, the drafting help. Halfway through in Can-Am duel number 1, Cole Baker, the Daytona 500 pole sitter, out in front. 3 wide for the lead. Here comes McIntosh putting Michaels in the middle. And McIntosh with a power move in turn 1 immediately goes to the front. And he's going to start checking out there. Man, he had quite a run there with Joshua Michaels going into turn 1. Look at this. Look at how he's pulling away. That's not exactly a good thing if you're the race leader. That's going to allow the rest of the pack to suck right back up to your back bumper. But right now, they're battling for 2nd. Well, they were. Joshua Michaels now takes the 2nd position. Keep in mind, Joshua Michaels last season, he started the Daytona 500 on the pole, so he knows how to get around this racetrack. And right now, trying to run down Dallas McIntosh for this Can-Am duel victory. Meanwhile, they're 3 wide back there for 3rd. Well, they were. John Andrews clears that. Makes it now double wide behind him between Zach Flickinger and Zachary Fitzwater for the 4th position. I noticed that there was a group back here that aren't really up in the lead pack. They're just kind of riding around, which makes me wonder if they want to start the rear of the field for the 500. A lot of veterans back here. You got Kyle Matthews, the defending Daytona 500 winner. You've got Michael Norman, Chris Dollerton, Dylan Young, and Brandon Gonzalez. So there could be something where they're actually forfeiting a good starting spot in order to actually start at the rear and maybe avoid a big wreck when the green flag waves for the Great American Races. Up front, it is Dallas McIntosh. Out in front, his teammate John Andrews runs in 2nd, but not for long. Here comes Zach Flickinger down to the bottom, and he's got drafting help from Zachary Fitzwater and Joshua Michaels. So for a moment there, it was Roush Fenway Racing 1-2, but now McIntosh out in front, and you got to wonder if John Andrews might have been trying to play some defense for his teammate, keep the pressure off of him, so maybe McIntosh can win this thing. McIntosh going to have some company in just a little bit, though, if these top 5, top 6 are going to stay single file. And as soon as I say that, they start breaking out into double wide formation. Again, Joshua Michaels leaving out Zach Flickinger as there's 2 to go here in this Can-Am duel. And now Michaels moves into 2nd, bringing rookie Matt Haas along with him. along with O'Neal Baldwin now up there into the 4th position, and Emmanuel Hartnett now moves to 5th. And McIntosh has got company. We got a car up ahead that they may encounter. That is Cat Tellier, who is way at the rear of the field, all the way back in the 21st position. So it doesn't look really good for the driver at KAB Racing Enterprise. Looks like she'll be starting the race from the 41st position if nothing changes here in this final lap. White flag displayed this time for Dallas McIntosh. He's got Joshua Michaels about 3 car lengths behind him. Then it's about another 3 or 4 car lengths back to O'Neal Baldwin and Emmanuel Hartnett. Can McIntosh hang on for 2 more corners and 1 long straightaway? Joshua Michaels trying to run him down. They will not catch Cat Tellier before they get to the start-finish line, so Tellier will not be a factor. They're going to go 3 wide back here for the 3rd position. Carson Scott up the inside line, and he will actually make it a battle for 4th with Emmanuel Hartnett. But Dallas McIntosh is going to lead him here out of turn number 4, and the Cheez-It Ford out of Roush Fenway Racing will start 3rd for the Great American Race. Dallas McIntosh wins Can-Am Duel number 1 at Daytona. So it will be Ford's 1st and 2nd on the inside line for the Great American Race. Baker's Ford out of Seth Cole Baker Motorsports, and Dallas McIntosh's Ford out of Roush Fenway Racing. Session, I believe, has come to a close, so we'll take a look at the official results from this Can-Am Duel. And they are not actually official yet. We're waiting for Trent Dunham, who apparently lost the draft, and Cat Tellier to both cross the line. As soon as they do, the standings should go official, and now they have. So, Dallas McIntosh with the win. So, the inside line, at least for the top 10 for the Great American Race, will look as follows. Cole Baker will obviously start on the pole. Dallas McIntosh will start 3rd. Joshua Michaels will be 5th. O'Neal Baldwin 7th, and 9th will be Carson Scott. And then on down, you've got 11th place Zachary Fitzwater, 13th Zach Flickinger, 15th John Andrews, 17th Emmanuel Hartnett. Baker there is good. He finished 9th, but he'll be on the pole. 19th place will be Matt Haas, and then on down through 41st position, which would be Cat Tellier. As far as some of the drivers improving their positions, how about John Andrews working his way up from 19th to 7th? O'Neal Baldwin worked his way up from 20th to 3rd. Chris Dalston also improved his position, moved from 21st to 15th. So those non-chartered cars at least improved their positions for the starting lineup for this race, the Daytona 500. One driver that really actually fell quite a number of spots, Matt Haas. He was pretty much lined up to start 3rd for the Great American Race, and looks like he'll be starting back somewhere around the 19th position. So tough break there for Matt Haas, but that's just how these Can-Am Duels shuffle up the field for the Great American Race. So congratulations to Dallas McIntosh on winning Can-Am Duel number 1 and getting himself to start 3rd for the Great American Race. Let's find out now what the rest of the starting lineup will look like on the outside rows of the Great American Race. Can-Am Duel number 2 is coming up right after this. Alright then, so let's get ready for Can-Am Duel number 2. James Richardson, who will start on the outside of the front row for the Great American Race, starts on the pole for this one. We're going to go down trackside immediately and get our command.
Drivers, start your engine! Run!
And there's the command to fire him up here for Can-Am Duel number 2. James Richardson was the 2nd fastest in pole day qualifying, which locks him up the spot on the outside of the front row for the Great American Race. Joseph Srigley was 4th fastest, and so he starts on the outside of the front row for this race. As far as the 4 drivers that were the non-chartered cars that made their way into this Can-Am Duel, they were the 4 drivers that transferred in as non-chartered rides from the knockout qualifying session number 2. They include Chelsea Bowles, Lyndon Wright, Pichu London, and Ryan George. So we'll have to see how those 4 drivers are able to improve their positions in the starting grid. Right now, if the Daytona 500 were to begin and we were not to run the Can-Am Duels, those 4 would be starting from 39th back through 42nd in the starting grid. So they have a big opportunity here to be able to work their way up through the field, maybe get a victory here in the Can-Am Duel. It's not impossible. So far, we've got 3/4 of our first 2 front rows put together. Cole Baker on the pole for the 500, Richardson in second, and then Dallas McIntosh in third. But we do not know who is going to be starting fourth for the Great American Race, and we'll be determining that in this one. Looking through the field, seeing if there's any opportunity for teammates to work together, and from what I'm seeing, I see a couple of Retro Racing Enterprises cars in Charles Sanford, Jessica Shelton. I see Anime Racing Team's Daniel Voiles and Nathan Hudson, and I also see, starting nose to tail, the 42 and 48 of Benjamin Miles, Cody Lamas out of NW Racing. So, big opportunity here for some drivers to work together, get themselves some good starting positions, as Can-Am number 2 is under green. Can-Am Duel number 2, I should say. Richardson immediately jumps to the high side there through 1 and 2. As Chris Dodd tries to get the inside line going, but it's a ways back to Keith Batson. That outside line's got help. Richardson and Joseph Srigley, and they may end up getting a nice run here down the back straightaway, and they may actually clear for first and second away from Chris Dodd. Well, maybe not. Dodd hanging tough there on the inside line. He'll at least hang tough for the second spot with Srigley, as James Richardson will clear now for the lead coming out of turn number 4. And so the guy that will start on the outside of the front row for the Daytona 500 will lead the first lap of this Can-Am Duel. But they are 3 wide behind him. Jake Baskinger put in the middle, Cody Lamas on the inside, Daniel Voiles on the outside line. And they're 3 wide, about 2 rows deep from about maybe the 7th position on back. Just a taste of what we're going to get to see when 42 drivers are on track together with a Daytona 500 trophy on the line. Richardson doing a good job controlling the draft. He moves low to move the inside line along, then jumps high to string along the outside line. Controlling the draft is exactly what you need to do if you want to stay out in front here at Daytona, and Richardson doing a good job of it. Now he's got the defending Hersheys Cup Series champion Chris Dodd on his back bumper, and Dodd peeks out of line. And Dodd thought Srigley was going to go with him, but no dice. Srigley instead, as I forgot to break the banners away, Srigley going to the inside, 3 wide, and he'll take the lead himself. Look at that, a power move there by Joseph Srigley in the Pepsi Chevrolet out of Srigley Motorsports. So now Srigley to the lead. Dodd moves back to second, and it's 3 wide for third. Nathan Hudson on the inside line. Jake Baskinger in the middle, where he's been most of this race so far. And now James Richardson caught up on the high line, waiting for some reinforcements in the form of Dylan Pote, Blaine Keys, and Daniel Voiles. Battle on for the lead again. This time Chris Dodd to the inside, trying to take the lead away from Joseph Srigley. He's got drafting help from JT Bryant. Srigley has Nathan Hudson up high, but it looks like Chris Dodd with the inside line is going to move to the front. JT Bryant trying to move to second, and here comes Charles Sanford trying to move to third. Bryant moves to the inside line down the back straightaway to get help from Charles Sanford, and he gets to the left rear of Chris Dodd. So here comes JT Bryant looking for the lead here out of turn number 4. Maybe a dead even heat. Whoa! Joseph Srigley trying to tuck in line in front of Nathan Hudson. Hudson says nothing doing, as they're 3 wide back there for third at the line. Who led that lap? I think it might have been JT Bryant, but I might be wrong. And our scoring monitor says it was Chris Dodd, as they're 3 wide, at least 4 rows deep here. Charles Sanford up the inside line, and move him to the front. I wanted to look back, see what we've got for stragglers right now, but the racing up here is too doggone good to jump back and look at that right at the moment. Sanford out in front. Here comes Lyndon Wright up the inside line with Leon Alvarez. Lyndon Wright started this race from the 19th position, I should say. And now he's up to second. Here comes Leon Alvarez with Cody Lamas, and all this going on behind Charles Sanford. Don't forget, last season, Charles Sanford was a 4-time winner in the Hersheys Cup Series. 2 of those victories came at the 2 Talladega races, so he knows how to get around restrictor plate tracks. But now he's got Leon Alvarez to his inside battling for the lead, and now Cody Lamas has Sean Galligan behind him, pushing him. Sean Galligan pushing the ride he drove last season, that 48 car. Oh, Sanford trying to move down to block Cody Lamas is on the inside line, and Lamas says nothing doing, keeps his nose to the inside line. Sean Galligan pushing him there along with Joshua Sekuli. Oh, and we could be 3 wide coming here to the line. Galligan on the inside line now. Lamas moves to the middle line. They're 3 wide, 5 rows deep still. Actually, make that 6 rows deep as Galligan up the inside line now tries to take the lead. Look at Sanford switching from the outside line now to the middle line, trying to get the side draft off of Galligan. Galligan leading the charge on the inside line with Joshua Sekuli, and here comes rookie Ryan George now up the inside line as well, and they're almost 4 wide here down the back straightaway. Galligan back to the bottom. Look at there, Sekuli crowding Chris Dodd up back to the high side, just in front of James Richardson. Good racing up front here, but these guys got to be careful. If they wreck, they're going to a backup car starting at the rear of the field for the Daytona 500. But right now, I'm telling you what, this is quite a show they're putting on for the fans. As here comes Ryan George up the inside line looking for the lead, and Galligan in the middle groove starts to fall back just the least little bit. Sanford hanging tough on the outside line. Finally, it pays off dividends, and he slides back down in front to keep the lead here at Daytona, but not after about 2 or 3 laps of 3 wide racing, about 5 rows deep here, and they all kept it together. Here comes Chris Dodd now to the inside line trying to take the lead from Sanford, and he easily will clear Sanford for the lead. Strong move by the Staples Chevrolet out of CJ Racing through turn number 3. Blaine Keys now moving into second. Here comes Nathan Hudson. We'll quickly jump back here and take a look with 2 laps to go of who the stragglers are. Jessica Shelton's lost the draft. Pichu London has as well. And also Benjamin Miles. Looks like Chelsea Bowles is still in the draft, so 3 stragglers right now. And looks like Miles will be starting the Daytona 500 from the 38th position. Pichu London will be starting 40th, and Jessica Shelton will be starting 42nd. If we don't have a wreck here in the next lap and a half. JT Bryant is now the race leader. Jake Baskinger into second. JT Bryant trying to make it 3 Fords in the top 4 for the starting lineup, as they were almost 4 wide back there with rookie Ryan George. Here comes Joseph Srigley and Charles Sanford as the white flag is displayed. They'll move by Baskinger for the 2nd and 3rd positions. Can they catch JT Bryant? Yes, they can. Look at Srigley with a big run there into 1. It was almost like JT Bryant was standing still. Srigley to the point. Sanford moves to 2nd. Can Srigley hang on, or will Sanford be able to make a move here into 3? He's within striking distance, but would he have a drafting partner if he makes the move? Srigley through turns 3 and 4 just has to keep Sanford and JT Bryant in his rear view mirror. Off turn 4 for the final time. If Sanford makes a move, will JT go with him? JT steps out instead. That's the battle for 2nd. Srigley will win Can-Am Duel number 2 and start 4th for the Great American Race Daytona 500. And believe it or not, in 3 years of Hersheys Cup Series competition, that is the first checkered flag, albeit a non-points race, but the first checkered flag that Joseph Srigley has received in a Hersheys Cup Series competition race. So Joseph Srigley will be starting on the outside of row 2 for the 3rd annual Hersheys Cup Series Daytona 500. Standings should now be official, as I believe Shelton has crossed the line. Indeed, she has. So Srigley will start the 500 in the 4th position. JT Bryant will be 6th. Sanford will be 8th. And Daniel Voiles will start in the top 10 in the 10th position. James Richardson finished the race out in 9th, but regardless of finishing there, he will still be starting on the outside of the front row for the Daytona 500. As far as our non-chartered cars that raced their way into this race, Pichu London, I don't think his position improved at all. I think he started 20th, finished 20th. Chelsea Bowles started 18th, finished 18th. Lyndon Wright gained 2 spots. He was going to be 19th for the start of this race, and he was 17th at the finish. But the one that gained the most was Ryan George. He started the race from 21st, finishes the race in the 10th position, and as a result, will be starting the Daytona 500 in the 20th position. So not bad for a guy that was, if we didn't have these Can-Am Duels, going to be rolling off from 42nd position. So our top 2 rows for the Daytona 500 are as follows: Cole Baker and James Richardson in row 1. Our Can-Am Duel number 1 winner, Dallas McIntosh, will start 3rd, and Can-Am Duel number 2 winner, Joseph Srigley, will start in 4th. So, folks, hope that you've enjoyed this session. We have now determined what the starting lineup, the full 42-car field, will look like for the Great American Race. Next up here this race weekend, it's the debut race of the debut series of the Almond Joy Series. They'll be taking to this racetrack, trying to pick up the very first checkered flag in NNSCRA Almond Joy Series history. And then after that, we cap off this race weekend with the big one, the Daytona 500. We have had 2 previous Daytona 500 winners here in the Hersheys Cup Series. Only one of those drivers will be in the starting lineup for this Daytona 500. That is last year's winner, Kyle Matthews. The first ever Hersheys Cup Series Daytona 500 winner, Ryan Acosta, is not in the field. So thank you all so much for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed today's Can-Am Duels. If you enjoyed them, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe, and become part of the crew today. We will see you next time as we get ready for Almond Joy Series racing, and then Hersheys Cup Series Daytona 500 racing as Daytona Race Weekend continues on here on the NNSCRA Sports Channel, offline racing at its best.